All the people on Twitter talk trash about Georgia fans who bark at children, but what do they think about the children who bark at other people?
Other people. Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to My God a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I are joined by Hunter Jones to preview Georgia's matchup with Ole Miss. We talk through what we're looking for in the game, and we answer questions from you, our listeners. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. When it's Ole Miss week against the Fighting Hunters, you got to bring the man himself, Hunter Jones. Hunter, as always, welcome to the Ole Miss week edition of My God a Podcast.
Yes, thank y'all for having me. It's I don't know if I'm good or bad luck because what have we done this? I think this is going to be the third time, and we're one for
We're
one win, one loss.
one in one.
So
Yeah, yeah.
We need
Well,
a tiebreaker. We had to bring you back for a tiebreaker. No
uh,
pressure. No pressure, Hunter. The
yeah,
Fighting Hunters.
yeah. And then coming in hot off a should we be recording? Apologies to the audience. The true man was here, but he had to go to bed.
yeah,
But always good times. Showing off his new skills.
yes, he's recently, and it really is recently gotten to where he just talks all the time. A lot of the yeah, a lot of the times he's talking gibberish. I don't know what he's saying,
Gibberish. Yeah.
but he's got some words in there and he recognizes things. And he was showing the guys here before we started recording. Every time he sees a Georgia logo, he barks at it. So
It's so good. He's like woo woo woo.
Outside of your home, does he see very many of those out and about? Like, does he do it to out and about, or is it just a at the house kind of thing?
if he sees it, he'll do it. But it's mainly here. And Megan's not too happy about it, but it's the TV. If he sees a TV, doesn't have to be our TV, he'll go up to the TV and he'll say ball, and then he'll say everybody's like what? And he's like ball, because he knows that's where the games happen.
This is where my people are.
Oh, that's so good. Does he like? Has he seen the commercial? I can't remember what it is. What's it's like an insurance commercial where the guy barks at his boss.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been on when he's been there. I don't know how much paying attention he's been doing because the
Uh,
cars are out in the living room and all the toys are everywhere. So he's just going crazy. But he'll stop when the football game is on and he'll, like get into a trance and he'll watch it for a little bit and he'll turn and look at me and he'll go, woo, 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 woo.
yeah.
Same, same.
Right, right. So he's like what, like one and a half now? Is
Yeah,
that
one
right?
and a half.
Okay, okay.
All the people on Twitter talk trash about Georgia fans who bark at children, but what do they think about the children who bark at other people?
Other people. Yeah, exactly. Dude, there's probably a whole swath of people on the socials that are just be like, "Wait, I thought you were an Ole Miss fan."
They
But
would,
let it be known he's raising them right.
yeah, yep.
There we go. There
And
we
he's kind
go.
of picked it up on his own. I mean, we watched both games, and he's got an Ole Miss shirt that he wears, and he he has picked up on the barking and the Georgia logos more on his own.
Amen. Amen,
Great
true
taste.
man.
Great
Great
taste
taste.
by the true man.
Exactly. Exactly. He knows where dad's season tickets are.
That's right.
Oh man. Well, I hate that the time the 3:30 timing is gonna keep us from seeing you and the whole family this weekend. But I know y'all be cheering on from the OS the best.
Yeah, and it's gonna work out good. There's like a little uh fall festival and trunk or treat that's going on Saturday night downtown. So now I'm gonna get a chance. We'll take him down there after the game's over and let him go wild. And he's got a where the wild things are costume because that's one of his favorite
Mm.
books. So he's
Nice.
gonna be I guess what's his name? Max. We read so many different books, I lose track of all the little characters, but he's gonna be Max from Where the Wild Things Are.
That's the kid that's in the white getup, right?
Yep, the white wolf suit.
The White Wolf. Yeah, yeah.
Man, that's
It's been
fantastic.
it's been a minute since we read that one.
Mhm. It's been yesterday since we read that one. I should probably remember.
That's
Oh
funny.
man.
That's funny.
Uh, enjoy it. It flies. It flies by. So
It does
now
fly by.
I'm coming here. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, I was just dealing with the 8-year-old who didn't want to go to bed, and they say it in much more loud and formulated words as opposed to just tears and crying.
Right, right. I'm coming. I'm I'm coming here from watching an episode of The Bear with Kim and Lily. So things change. I do different things.
That's
Uh,
funny.
cool. All right,
The stages of life.
that's right. That's right. Let's hit the rundown and we'll get going. We'll get going with our special guest. So as always, we'll just remind everyone you can follow us at My Got a Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. And then always you can head over to homefield.mygotapodcast.com. And then you can use code HunkerDown and get 15% off your first order from Homefield Apparel. All right, so matchup Saturday got kickoff at 3:30 p.m. Eastern at Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. The Dogs come in at 5-1 and 3-1 in the SEC. Ole Miss 6-0 and 3-0, undefeated. It's a top 10 matchup. The Dogs are number 7 and number 9 in the polls. Ole Miss is number 5 in both. We've got the big crew. We've got Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Holly Rowe on the call. I know Herbstreit appreciates that with game day being in Athens and getting to call the game in Athens. He doesn't have to like leave game day early and fly to go to the game like last week. Um, okay, so a fun fact: the game is on Sirius XM 84 again. So I guess the home games are on that channel. I don't know. I should probably stop talking about that. The official hashtag that we will forget to use is hashtag Miss MISS verse UGA. All-time series record. The Dogs. I'm always surprised at this. Georgia leads the all-time series 33-14-1. Last meeting won by Ole Miss 28-10 last year in Oxford on a rainy day in Oxford. Weather will not be like that this Saturday. It looks like it's going to be Chamber of Commerce Day, high of 79, sunny day. I think the sun should be setting towards the end of the game, like somewhere in the fourth quarter. Should be a nice day in Athens. All right, that's what I got. I know we've got Hasties, Hargrid history. I don't know. Do we have any other miscellaneous fun type facts we wanted to hit? I did not ask before. I usually do.
Yeah, no fun facts. No fun facts on this one, unless Hunter's got something that he wants to throw out there for us, because not the first time that we played these guys. We played them last season, so
Yeah, yeah. All good.
Yeah, I feel like
any
we covered the Ole Miss, side of the fun facts over the last 2 years. So I don't think I've got anything new.
All good.
yeah.
All good. All right. Let's hit Hasties Hargrid history. All right. Let's do it. JP, you want to take this one or did you want me to?
I'll take it. Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
All right.
All right. This is our Ole Miss edition. We've reached the point of the football season where news of college coaches are getting fired and rumors of coaches being on the hot seat are part of our daily discussion. James Franklin was fired by Penn State after a midseason collapse, and Florida's Billy Napier seems to hold on to his job on a week by week basis. And goodness knows what's happening with Bill Belichick and UNC. Amen about that. Georgia has historically been slow to move on from underperforming coaches. Almost all Georgia fans can recite the list of coaches we've had since 1964. Vince Dooley, Ray Goff, Jim Donnan, Mark Richt, and one Kirby Paul Smart. Going further back, since Alex Cunningham resigned as head coach following the 1919 season to rejoin the U.S. Army, we only had 6 head coaches until Vince Dooley was hired. Herman Stegman, George Woodruff, Harry Meyer, Joel Hunt, Wally Butts, and Johnny Griffin. Of these coaches, the outlier for length of tenure and the one who is arguably the most obscure Georgia coach of the 20th century is Joel Hunt. I have to admit, Jim, I did not recognize that name.
Right. Yeah.
Harry Mayer resigned as Georgia's head coach following the 1937 season. Mayer was well respected and well liked, but several disappointing seasons had worn thin the patience of Georgia's alumni who wanted new leadership for the football team. Meyer had his resignation held, after his resignation was head coach at Ole Miss for 7 mostly successful seasons. As is natural, speculation about Mayer's successor began quickly, with many speculating former Georgia All-American end Chick Shiver would get the job, or perhaps backfield coach Rex Enright. Some alumni pulled for former Madison A&M coach Wally Butts, who was having a great success at Mile High in Louisville, Kentucky. The university administration had its eyes on former Texas A&M back Joel Hunt, who was then coaching the backfield at LSU after a short stint with the Major League Baseball's St. Louis Cardinals. Like what? Hunt had been a phenom at Texas A&M, setting a school record for rushing touchdowns in a season that would stand until broken by Johnny Manziel in 2012. I want to pause right here because holy crap.
Yeah. That is
That is
crazy.
that is an insane run, sir. Like, holy cow. Man. Once he was hired, Hunt was allowed by the university administration to hire one of his assistants, while the athletic board would hire the other in conjunction with the new head coach. That's just crazy to like. There's so many things about like all this entire story. It's like we have a coach that's like, "Ah, I'm going to go back to the military. You can pick some coaches, then we'll pick some other coaches. Like the 2025 mind cannot comprehend.
Right.
One of the men hired was Elmer Lampy. Elmer Lampy. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Who would also coach the basketball team. Like what? The other was Wally Butts. Together, these men ditched the Notre Dame box offense run by Meyer and installed the single wing offense. Hunt also introduced new garish uniforms with bright red pants and red or white jerseys. Hunter, this is where you come in and take your victory lap. So we'll give you an opportunity to take a victory lap that the original uniforms were varied.
I gotta
I
say,
will.
Jason didn't even know that Hunter was going to be on, and this is like so perfect.
So perfect.
I'll just say that I will let history speak for itself. I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Miss me with the traditions.
if you're watching on YouTube, we're seeing like the old black jerseys and stuff too, and these pictures that Jason sent us. It's pretty sweet.
I think aren't some of those pictures the of A&M like Joel Hunt at A&M? I thought that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
my
Some of them
takeaway.
are. Some of
Okay.
them are. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right, where was I? All right, Joel Hunt's first, and as it would turn out, only season as our head coach started out well with wins over the Citadel, South Carolina, Furman, and Mercer. As he moved into the heart of the schedule, things took a turn for the worse after a loss to mighty Holy Cross on the road in Massachusetts. He beat Florida in Jacksonville. Oh, sorry. He beat Florida in
Yes.
Jacksonville. He then lost to Tulane, Auburn, and tied Tech 0-0, which is just like what? And lost to Miami in the last regular season game. At 5-4-1, he did little to inspire the Georgia alumni. Hunt was also known to be a hot-headed and had not made many friends on campus, which stood in stark contrast to the gentlemanly and well-liked Harry Mayer. It really was as if we'd fired Mark Richt and hired Johnny Manziel as his replacement. Wow, that's quite the comparison, Jason. University administration took action to move on from Hunt after the loss to Miami, though the circumstances of the coaching change are unusual. Word leaked to the press that Hunt had been fired and Wally Butts was hired as his replacement. Hunt maintained, though, that he had not been informed of any of that and still, as he assumed, was head football coach. Hunt also maintained that he had a 3-year contract and would have to be bought out. The university disputed this, saying that Hunt only had a 1-year contract. Regardless of the circumstances, Hunt was out, and Butts was in as a head coach, a position that he'd hold until he resigned following the 1960 season. Again, I want to pause and say, wow.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. In 1939, Hunt took a position as head coach of the University of Wyoming, where he posted a 0-7-1 record. Oof. He spent the rest of his career as an assistant in college and in the pros. Even in the 1930s, Jim, some coaches were just better suited for being assistants, not
Yeah,
head coaches.
yeah.
Joel Hunt was inducted into the Texas A&M Athletic Hall of Fame in 1964 and the College Football Hall of Fame as a player in 1967. He passed away in 1978. Wow.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff as always, Jason.
Good stuff indeed.
And as he said, let uniform Twitter make of that what it will, with the bright red pants and the red or white jerseys.
Yes. Man, do they have the red on red combination? People are talking.
I mean, I think that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing is
Was
possible.
it the first red out?
Yeah. Seriously.
Did they play Clemson in the purple?
Oh man. Should we mention also
Dude,
the? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if you're on the YouTubes, definitely go and check it out because you'll find that there are some interesting I guess they aren't emails, right? They're like telegrams that were sent from fans to I guess the administration, one of which I thought was kind of funny, like basically telling a writer to go jump in a river. Like, oh my gosh, the smack talk back in the 30s. Even in the 30s, we were trying to troll writers.
Right. Right. Yeah. I was just gonna say that Jason let us know that like special if you head over to the Hargrett Larry and mention my God a podcast, you can check out books for free.
And you can get a free pencil.
uh, Amazing.
Mention I got a podcast for your free pencil.
That's right. So yeah, be sure to check out, go stop by and see Jason if you're in town in Athens at any time. Like we always say on Friday afternoons, you can see the latest exhibit, which this year is around the legendary swimming and diving program at Georgia, curated by Jack Bowerly and of course Jason Hasty. So thank you
Hmm.
as always, Jason, for sending this over to us. All right. Let's see. Couple news and notes. I guess really just around the injury report. So coming out like Kirby's press conference, I didn't see any hopeful kiss of deaths. But he did talk about like a couple things that I didn't realize. I think we talked about the Chauncey Bowens thing, John, in our Auburn review. That was when I'd heard about it was his press conference. So he was saying like kind of going into the game, it had been bothering him a little bit. And they weren't really sure if like that affected him in the game or not, but the other guys were kind of had the hot hand. So at any rate, he said he should be able to play and be good to go this week. I think Gaston kind of like re-injured himself, trying to see if he can go today. We'll see that. And then apparently CJ Allen's had like a hamstring issue he's been dealing with, so didn't know that. But CJ Allen not on the injury report. Green and Gaston are probable this week. The new thing we just heard tonight is safety Kyron Jones is listed as out. So sounds like some sort of foot injury. And he is out indefinitely.
Brutal.
Yep. Um,
Just when the kid's trying to make a run.
yeah. Yeah. Looks like we've got something, a Lane Kiffin comment in here.
A Lane Kiffin comment.
Did I add
Uh-oh.
that? I guess I must have added it and I forgot.
No, I added it in there.
I
I
was like,
saw
when
it.
did I do this?
There's been some I don't know if anybody saw it on the Twitter. It was kind of circulating that Kiffin had made a like a fat shaming comment toward Kirby in one of his press conferences.
Yeah.
Said he didn't look like he worked out or burned calories or something like that. If you looked at his
Oh
if you watched
yeah.
the press conference.
The
Yeah.
question was like, how many calories do you think that you're burning out there? And like, he was talking about how he saw Kirby's press conference. It didn't look like he was burning a whole lot of calories out there. And like, bro, That pissed me all the way off.
Oh.
Like, what a dick.
He lives to troll, man.
It really is.
But I saw this quote, and I think he's trying to do damage control with the latest one that he put out, where he was talking about how good Georgia has been over the last however many years, and how hard it's going to be for them to go in there and win. And he said this isn't coach speak, it's fact. This is an elite program in college football, the elite program in college football with the top coach in college football. So he's giving Kirby all the praise there, not trying to give any more bulletin board material if he can help it.
Hmm. The
We see how it
ship,
is, Lane.
the ship has already sailed,
Yeah.
Lane.
And he went on to say, like, I'll look at their record since 2020. He's like, I don't think they've had any regular season losses since Florida in 2020, except for Alabama and Ole Miss last year. And he's like, just think about that for a while. And he just stopped talking.
Yeah. I know he also said like after the last game in Athens like 2 years ago, like he was like really high on the Georgia environment and was talking about like
Mhm.
how that's like one of the best environments he's seen in, in the SEC. So,
Yeah, he's been criticizing the Ole Miss student section after this past week against Washington State. Now, I mean, in the kids' defense, it's Washington State at an early kickoff, and it's hot in the sun in the student section, which they moved the student section when I was in school. The student section was in the south end zone, and so it was in the shade primarily because they had the awning over the top of it,
mm,
and they made that into like some paying people seats. And then they enclosed the north end zone with like those metal bleachers. Like the whole north end zone is just metal bleachers. And so they moved all students over there. So any day game, they're in direct sunlight and metal bleachers, and it's tough. But
yeah.
his comment was he was talking about how his team underperformed, and he was like, we're ranked whatever in our stats, but we looked like we were ranked 128th. And he was like, kind of just like our student section looked like they were not doing what they need to do. And he always throws jabs at the student section.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Kirby's done. I don't know that he's so much said like the students, but he, sometimes gets on the fans for. I wonder if they got that from Saban at all a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people on Georgia Twitter who wish Kirby would get at the student section.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a little late arriving for the Kentucky game for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
all right, let's see. So for the kind of macro things for the game, if you look at turnover margin, I thought was interesting. Like both these teams are on the wrong side of that. So Georgia minus turnover margin -1, meaning one more turnover than takeaway. Ole Miss is actually -4 in turnover margin. But then the yards per play thing that I know we always track Ole Miss at one net yards per play 1.67, Georgia at 0.92. So favoring Ole Miss there in that category. Um, but let's talk about what we're looking for when Georgia's got the ball, kind of Georgia offense, Ole Miss defense. I don't know, Hunter, I guess first to you, like, are these even like kind of like the players for Ole Miss that I've got listed? Like, are those the guys like to look out for?
Yeah, I mean the Ole Miss defense it's not the same one that you saw last year in Oxford. They lost a good handful of guys to the NFL, but I think the main thing that you need to know is Pete Golding is actually a pretty good defensive coach. He was kind of, and Lane talks about it the same way. When you coach for Nick Saban, you do Nick Saban way, and that's what you do, and you don't question it. But under Lane has said he's tried to kind of be more of letting his assistant coaches do kind of what they're hired to do, and so Pete's got a pretty good defensive unit out there. A lot of guys are going to be flying to the ball. They're going to be well coached and be in the right place. So I think that's the main thing you can look forward to is um, Ole Miss is not going to be uh, ill prepared as far as assignment and fit and scheme and that kind of thing. It's just going to come down to players making plays, and obviously, I feel like I like Georgia's chances if that's what it's coming down to. But they're going to be well coached. They're going to be in the right spots.
Okay. Okay. Got it. I the couple of guys I had down were like TJ Daugherty is a leading tackler linebacker. Is it? Do you even know? Is Xavion Harris ZX
Yeah,
Xavion?
Xavier. Yeah.
Okay, senior defensive tackle. Has 2 sacks, and then Will Eccles is a sophomore defensive tackle, has 3 sacks on the season. Um, Interesting that I guess there's just not a lot of interceptions. So the leading interceptor has one, a defensive tackle. So I don't know. Watch the defensive line getting their hands up. Um, we had a question. Maybe JP, you can give us a little insight on this. Alex Humphreys had asked us. He said last year, huge battle in the game was Georgia's offensive line against Ole Miss's D line. I know you're always talking about the Georgia offensive line. And then, like he said, how does Ole Miss pass rush look this year?
Yeah, I mean the defensive numbers. Georgia actually has better total defense, better scoring defense. Not like not terribly, but they do have 9 sacks on the season. So it's definitely a point of concern. Like I'm sure that they're going to get to the quarterback at some point. So it just seems like that's just kind of what has happened this season. So as long as we can do our due diligence to stay on schedule, as far as when we have the ball, the things that I'm going to be looking for is can we establish the run? It looks as though like they have they have a susceptible they are susceptible to the run. They've been giving up around 157 yards per game rushing. So if I were to tell you, Jim, if hey, Georgia had 157 yards rushing, like would you take that and would you think that we would come away with that? So if we can just hold them to what they have been used to, the pass rush may not necessarily matter as much because if we can get the run game going, that will definitely give us some opportunities further down the road. But if we're sitting in situations where they can pin their ears back, they definitely have, if we get in second and medium um, or early down, setting up downfield passing, like, we've got to we've got to get our, we got to get our guys in the right, in the right spots and get the right protections because they're probably going to come away with a couple of sacks.
Yeah, Hunter has that. I don't know. I guess what have you seen from like the pass rush from Ole Miss?
Yeah, I mean, the defensive line is still good. Last year, the defensive line was kind of a mixture of the guys that you see their names popping up now. They were younger guys who got playing time, but that unit last year was really, really disruptive. They had Walter Nolan, the big time transfer, and Jared Ivey and JJ Piggies, and those guys are gone, but Eccles and Human Malin, and I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Cam Franklin, Xavion Harris, they're all returning guys that got playing time alongside those other guys last year. And I think that was a big thing um, with last year's team playing at Ole Miss was, Ole Miss had a deep defensive line, not just, some talented guys, but they had a lot of talented guys, and that took a toll on Georgia's offensive line. So, it's a good thing they don't have those three big names back this year. But they do have some guys that are going to be disruptive and that are real talented.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through their schedule. Like, gave up. If you look at like the SEC, I mean, they gave up 23 to Kentucky, gave up 35 to Arkansas,
Mhm.
um, gave up 19 to LSU. I mean, that's pretty good defensive effort. But then 21 to Washington State as well. So I don't know. Feels like could potentially be susceptible there to the
Yeah,
to the
and the
Georgia offense.
Washington State game was really weird. Like they'd get Washington State to like 3rd and 15, and they'd give up like a 50-yard screen
Mm.
pass or a quarterback draw for 40 yards, and it was just it was a weird game. and Kiffin admitted to it. He used the bye week. They had a bye week before Washington State, and he straight up admitted that they were preparing for Georgia the whole time. And so
Yeah,
they
that
kind of
I did notice that that he basically has been talking about that they've been working on Georgia for basically 2 weeks. So
yeah, they sleptwalk right through that Washington State game, and it almost cost them. Uh,
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess on our offense, like, I guess my question is just can we do things? Can we do what we're capable of like from the start? And like, I don't know. I don't know if that's kind of been our thing for not just this year, right? Like going back to last year and even further. So
so here's where I'm at, Jim, as far as with our offense. Um, I am basically looking for them to um not turn the ball over. Like
yeah.
that's going to be the most important thing for me this game, because I'm just going to assume that the body of work that we've been putting out there is what we can all expect, which,
Hmm.
you can argue all day long whether or not that's warranted, that we should expect that. But the reality is that it's just what has been happening, and I can't past it. We're still in show me territory, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Um,
almost like at some point we kind of have to accept like what this team is, you know?
Yeah, you just have to recognize that, and this might be a good, since we talked about it on the podcast before the podcast, Jim. Like, are you results oriented or are you process oriented, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I kind of thought too, like I know the three of us are all in like different areas, like in the workforce, we've got a teacher, I'm in more like IT, John also similar, but more kind of more of a marketing focus. Like, and it's something I like talk about even like playing golf too and stuff like that. Like are you going to worry about like your process of taking a shot or like the result of where the shot went? I think I'm not good enough, so like I'll take whatever I can get at golf. So that's not maybe a good analogy. Um, but like it's like when and this is almost I'm kind of feeling more like this on the defensive side. So maybe we can kind of do this like as we're transitioning into defense because that's the thing is that the last game against Auburn, it's like in the middle of the game you're so frustrated and like Auburn's like marching up and down the field and so you're like, oh, like this is, we're terrible and like all this kind of stuff. And then like you get to the end of the game, it's like, oh, they only scored 10 points. And then like they did like nothing in the second half. So it's like, if you're a results driven person, like it's hard to argue with the result of what they did against Auburn. But I know Kirby is very process oriented. So I guess I don't know like what's going on there. Like are they following the process the whole time and then like they end up getting to that end result or like are we straying from the process? I don't know.
I would have to say that I think that they are trying to follow the process as best as they can, given that they've got, like, it's kind of like when you have a bunch of new hires, right? Sometimes they may not know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, but you give them a set of tasks and these are the things that we're supposed to be doing. And even if they miss some of those steps, but they still have a satisfied client in my world, like we would consider that a win, like
Right.
a goals, a results driven kind of situation. We'll work on the process after the fact kind of thing.
Sure.
Um, you may be messing it up. It's just because you just don't know any better. And maybe you're making mistakes that we just need to have more training. And I kind of feel like that's kind of what we're seeing on the field. You got missed tackles, you got missed, people missing blocks, and um, you got the officially unofficial wide receiver of My God podcast missing wide open passes downfield. Like, you've got all kinds of different things that are going on there. You got guys that are getting hurt. And so, kind of like when someone goes down or goes on vacation, like there is the ramp up time to try to fill in that gap kind of stuff. So I kind of look at it like that. And like you said, it's hard to argue it, you know, some of the things, but you want to do better.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. I guess we can keep going there. Like Georgia, stick with the Georgia defense, the Ole Miss offense. And I think the big thing for me is just really like I don't know if quarterback change is the right wording, but like last year, when Dart went down early in the game, you're kind of like, oh man, like that might bode well for Georgia. Um, and then, backup quarterback comes in and like marches down the field. And like Simmons, and
Yeah, tell us about the backup quarterback.
he looked like otherworldly, but then now it's what Trinidad Chambliss is playing now. So is Simmons still hurt, Hunter? Or like, do you
No,
know?
no, he's not. He's
Okay,
not
he's
hurt
back.
anymore.
Okay.
He's just he's going with the hot hand, you know.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
Mm.
So yeah, so the backup quarterback is the same backup quarterback as last year. They
Yes.
came off the bench.
Yeah. He
Okay.
came off the bench last year. He won the starting job this year. Got hurt. Trinidad came in, leads them to an unbeaten record, ranked in the top five. And Lane's just, like I said, he's playing the hot hand. And so now he's the backup again.
So what I hear you saying is that we should prepare for the backup as well,
I don't know,
just in
man, because
case.
Chambliss has
Just in
been, well,
just
yeah,
in case.
always just in case, always just in case. Yes. Um, but yeah, I mean, this guy is what, like a transfer from Ferris State? Is
Fair
that right?
say. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know where that is.
And Lane, I can't remember if it was right after the Washington State game. I think it was where they were like, "Well, what did you say to your quarterback?" He was because he had a rough game. He was missing passes, turned the ball over, and he was like, "I told him he needs to quit going back to doing Fair State stuff and go back to doing Ole Miss stuff."
Uh, Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So anyway, so that kind of like jumps out to me, but he's also like second leading rusher on the team too. So he's kind of out there doing it all. For Ole Miss, 7 touchdowns passing, 1 pick, 1,200 yards, 281 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns. And then Kawan Lacey, the running back, 587 yards, 8 touchdowns. Um, are these the right receivers, Hunter? Harrison Wallace and then Daquan Wright is the tight end actually. Are those kind of the
Mhm.
main weapons.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I want to say about Trinidad is he's going to play within a how do I say this? Because he's not, I don't want to call him a game manager. He does more than that, but he's not going to be the one that is going to make the boneheaded mistake because he's trying to do too much. He's not going
Mm.
to do too much. He's going to do exactly what is given to him and what he's coached to do. So that's why he's, second leading rusher is they use him a lot in that run game because that's his skill set and he's coached to do that, and he's not going to be like running the ball, trying to run people over and that kind of stuff. He's going to get what he can get, and he's going to go down, and he's going to move on to the next play. He's very calm. He's very even keeled because he is a veteran, what I would call like a veteran player. He just is a transfer veteran player, but he's got
Mm.
that it factor about him, which is why it's made it hard for Lane to go back with Simmons because not only did he come in and lead you to wins, but he's doing everything that you want your starting quarterback to do, and he is being everything that you would want the starting quarterback to be as far as how he leads the team and how he conducts himself at practice and on the field and that kind of thing. So he's a veteran presence on the field, and he's gonna do and have the team doing the things that they're coached to do. It's all going to be about, I think, on both sides, execution and who executes better.
Yeah. So I'm looking down the schedule and some stuff. So this also is jumping out to me, and I feel like this is more a thing with the offense than the defense, just with the noise. So this is only the second road game for Ole Miss. Everything's been at home except for they played at Kentucky, and Simmons was starting back then. So this is his
Yeah, that's the
first.
game he got hurt, was the
Okay,
Kentucky game.
okay. So I guess Simmons probably started that, and Chambliss finished it, but then this is his first start on the road in the SEC. So something to think about as you're going to Sanford Stadium. Make some noise. Kirby gave the challenge the fans to be loud kind of thing was going on this week. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I saw that, and I think that's why Kirby's well aware that this is going to be his first road start. And
Yeah.
so had to have your first road start be between the hedges with a head coach called them out, hostile crowd. He knows that's a big tilt in Georgia's favor.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Either of you guys got anything else for our defense, their offense?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the defense do kind of the same thing, like rather than having to play catch up and figure out what we're actually supposed to be doing in the second half. It would be nice to start a game just firing on all cylinders, particularly against this guy. I would say that just like with what's happened with Auburn, as well as what we saw from Alabama, we see that these offensive-minded coaches are putting in wrinkles and, to quote Kirby, like we haven't repped that kind of thing. Um, I would like us to be able to take a little bit more on the fly data and make adjustments in game as opposed to at halftime, um, to try to figure out some of these things. Eye discipline, things like that are going to be really important for us, as we move forward. I also, you Jim, you and I were on the text thread, like the all 22 views.
Hmm.
I definitely saw on tape, just looking at some of the things, like it just seems like that our defense is being more bend but not break and how it looks like the safeties and cornerbacks and things like that are kind of approaching some of these play calls where we're just selling out to not give up the big play kind of thing. I'd like to see us get a little bit more aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, get after the quarterback, you know, on his first road start. But again, I will say, kind of like we talked about last week too, though, you also have to contain, right? So, don't want to get like too far upfield with that outside pressure and leave the middle wide open. Gotta, set the edge and stay home kind of thing. So, yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
because he can run, he will
Yeah.
run, he will scramble, and he's not like one of these quarterbacks who is gonna just try to look to scramble and throw it away. He'll take off and he can hurt you if you break the contain.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Definitely something to watch for. Okay, let's see. As far as special teams go, the kicker is Lucas Carnero. He is a junior. 12 of 14 on field goals, 22 of 22 on extra points. And as we always like to know, Ole Miss does take special teams seriously. They have a freshman punter, Oscar Bird, from Sydney, Australia. He is averaging like 45-ish yards per punt. So got another. I think this is like the second Aussie kicker of late at Ole Miss as well. So got the Aussie pipeline continuing. What about in the kick return game, Hunter? Are any of these guys dangerous in the kick return game?
Not in my recollection that I've have anything come stand out in my mind,
Okay.
but it's a funny story talking about kickers, and I was having a conversation with one of the other assistant principals at my new school, who's a big LSU fan. He has LSU season tickets, and he was texting me. He was all distraught during the Ole Miss LSU game, and we were talking at school the Monday after Ole Miss beat them, and he was like, "Damn, I knew Ole Miss was going to win when Lane Kiffin actually started kicking field goals when they were down there in the red zone instead of going for it." He's like, Lane Kiffin always just wants to go for it, and when he has these big games, he goes for it and he does something stupid and he don't ever get it." He said, "I text my brother and I text you whenever Lane Kiffin started kicking field goals. I said, damn it, we're going to lose this game because he actually wants to win."
That's funny. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Let's unless John, you had anything on special teams.
Mm, make your field goals. This is the kind of game that's like, you know, payday missed a field goal
Mhm.
recently. That almost came back to bite us. So I'd like to. This is a game where you got to play. If you're going to play the way that we've been playing, and not impose your will on the different sides of the ball. Can't turn the ball over on offense. Can't give up touchdowns on defense, which we've been pretty good at. And then you got to make your field goals and not make any mistakes on special teams and almost play perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see. As we head to the listener questions, just want to remind everyone that the listener questions are brought to you by Working Web Media. So they helped us out a couple summers ago getting our entire website revamped. Got the new store set up there. So you can head over to mygodapodcast.com, check out some of their work. But if you got a small business, need some help with your website or just your online presence in general, head on over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs and they will let you know that we sent you their way. And as always, we will start off with the building bonus, TM from Bread Building. He opened, thanks again for making the What's shirt happen, which again, shout out, Working with Media. There's a whole like conference and discussion that went on around that. At any rate, absolutely, Brett, happy to do it. I will say they are selling. Many orders have already come through, and all the proceeds from that shirt are going to Bulldogs battling breast cancer. So head over to mygodapodcast.com/store and grab you a What's t-shirt, and then you'll know what's coming down the track. Okay, so his questions. Number one, was the Auburn game the worst officiated game in Georgia history? I'm actually gonna no. To me, no. I've been watching too much football for too long. 1999 at Georgia Tech is the worst I've ever seen. Nothing can ever top that.
Is that the Jasper was down game?
Yes. Yep. And it wasn't just that. Also, the field goal that they made in overtime that we blocked.
Mm-hmm.
Like we blocked it, and then they let them kick again, which it's possible that can be allowed, but generally the reason like you kick on third down is not for it to get blocked. It's like for if you have a bad snap, then you just down it and kick again. We blocked it, and they were said something about like the ball never crossed the line of scrimmage or something weird. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was also very interesting.
Controversial situation, eh?
And that that crew was supposed to work the SEC championship game the next weekend, and they were suspended. So they actually were taken off the field. So that's
Oh,
number one to me.
I can't comment on that game considering I was only 5. Uh,
I'll be right
but
back, Jim.
it
Okay.
was I would say this one was one of the worst ones that I can remember in recent history. Not just Georgia game, but like overall. Like it was that end of the the half was crazy,
Yeah,
terrible.
it was crazy. It was crazy, and like and just like also just like the amount of time that it took. Like
Yeah,
again,
that's what it felt like.
38
They were
minutes.
stopping every play.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I think that having the refs losing control of the game was not ideal.
Um. Okay, so second question: who was the bigger troll at their peak, Lane Kiffin or Steve Spurrier? Hunter, I feel like you have a unique, possibly perspective on this.
Well, I mean, I think the easy answer is that it's Spurrier because I think Lane Kiffin is just now getting to his peak. So
Hmm.
if we're talking about at the peak, who's going to be bigger? I mean, the verdict is not in. Lane Kiffin's got a little ways to go, but for now, I'll say it's Spurrier because um, he's just more. He's had more.
Yeah, he knew right how to needle. He knew like the exact buttons to press to. Um, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would say Spurrier for sure. Um, yeah, definitely Spurrier. He was the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Spurrier would have been on Twitter like Lane is?
Oh
Exactly.
my gosh.
Although I still think that even if he was, he would still just use he wouldn't use Twitter, he would use the media. That's my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know though if he tweeted you can't spell citrus without UT, like that would be pretty funny though. So, okay, let's go to 51-7 GATA. With the college football season at the halfway point, what is the biggest surprise y'all have seen across the sport? What's the biggest surprise out there?
That there's no dominant team.
Mm,
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think the biggest surprise is the parity. I think uh, it really is. It was always kind of a cliche before, any given Saturday you could get beat. Well, technically that was true, but you know, that, you know, 2021, 22 Georgia team wasn't
right.
any given Saturday. They were,
Yeah.
they could play their C game and beat most teams. But now, any given Saturday, anybody can get beaten. I think we saw, like, even this weekend, I was surprised that Indiana beat Oregon like they did
Yeah.
because I mean, I'm a Dan Lanning fan. Dan Lanning's up there coaching, physical and preaching all the right things and has the athletes and you wouldn't expect it from Indiana, but here they come. Go into Alton Stadium and beat them.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think that's right.
I think that there's a couple of things that are wrapped up in it. Is my personal opinion is that it's you've got the NIL creating parity where you got random guys that were going to schools that they never would have considered in the past, and they would normally go to the Alabamas and the Auburns and the Georgias and LSUs of the world. Instead, they're going to Texas Tech or Colorado or whatever, where the hot hand of NIL is lately. I have a feeling you're going to see Oklahoma State open up the coffers for the next guy that comes through because I'm sure that'll be part of the negotiations as well with the next head coach is that he has a war chest to operate from amongst the oil-rich folks out there, the pokes. The the other thing that I think, Hunter, you might be able to give another perspective on is that just the kids today are not as motivated, I guess, for lack of a better description. Like,
Yeah.
we've seen some guys in the text thread, Jim, talking about it. Like, these guys are just not built the same. Like,
Yep.
you got millionaires that are playing across the country right now that maybe are playing with less of an edge because they can just, oh well, like the old joke was like, Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods, they may lose they may lose championship Sunday or whatever. It's like, oh well, I'm just gonna go home to my riches and my beautiful wife kind of thing. Like these kids are college kids and I'll just go back to my dorm and party like a rock star or catch that flight to Miami this weekend and just go drown my sorrows at the Fontainebleau or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
dude.
agree with you. I think Um, and it might be controversial, but I with 100% certainty can tell you that in my opinion, that is true. Kids are different. I mean, I've been working in a high school, except for my 2-year hiatus at a middle school, for the last 2 years since 2016. And um, the kids just have a different mentality about pretty much everything when it comes to any kind of work, especially when you start talking about compensation for the work. Um, and I see it with our sports teams, and um, they're not as concerned about winning and losing, and necessarily doing the hard work as for that outcome, as long as they get paid, as long as they get their personal, whatever they have set for themselves out of it, that's their number one priority. And it's not just in sports. It's in the school, it's in the classrooms, it's everywhere. It's just kind of the norm, the mentality of at least from what I've seen, they're it's all about me, and I'll do what's best for the team if it's what's best for me too.
Right. Right. Interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
there's not a lot of sacrifice, um, not rallying around a team, and I could get even more societal on larger themes that are involved with that. But yeah, I just think that the generation of kids in the generation that they've grown up in the environment that they've grown up in, has just been more encouraging of less ownership of yourself and more reliance on just getting by, whether it be through yourself or through outside influence kind of thing. Before they had to have the motivation to do extra, get the work done, and the types of guys that probably Kirby Smart has historically looked for. Um, Unfortunately, it's just systemic through all of them. Like I would say that where things are probably going to catch up to the high school kids is something that Andrew Carraway has been talking a lot about on Twitter is like, you know, there's less spots available for the high school kids. So you've got kids that are not getting opportunities at some of these big programs because the big programs don't have time. They ain't got time for that. They need to hit home runs. I mean, look at our wide receiver core and look at the transfers that have caught passes the last weekend. We can go out into the portal and get some of these guys, and we don't necessarily have to break the bank on someone that's unproven and unmotivated. Zachariah Branch, you think he's motivated? So you can get some of these guys that are motivated that are just not getting it done in other places, and you can go to the portal and not have to take a risk on someone that's coming out of high school. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm just saying using an example like Taylon Taylor or something like that, where, you know, it's by and large looks like he's good to go, but he's not Zach Branch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta have ownership of yourself, and we need more of that in society as opposed to the helicopter parents that save their kids from consequences.
And
Yeah.
I think you see a lot of it with like how we were talking about it during the Auburn game in our text thread about how Kirby has kind of adapted as a coach. You don't see the what I call it. I can't remember the exact word. The rage Kirby as
Yeah.
much anymore. The
Kirby rage stroke.
Yeah, because the kids today they don't respond to that like those kids in 2012, 2011, that era of college football player because you know you rage stroke on a kid nowadays and he's just going to say, all right, well, I'll go somewhere else
You
then.
get sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Stetson.
they grab their weighted stuffed animal and say, "This is not a safe space."
Well, yeah, yeah. Stetson could take it. Stetson could take it. All right, I'm gonna keep us going. He just closed out with hopefully the students get this corrected for Saturday, which I think that was a Kentucky thing, noon kickoff. I think student section will be good to go for Saturday at 3:30. And he said 3:18 will be ready. So 51 to 7
Hmm.
GATA sits in the same section as we do. So go dogs. All right, let's go to John Michael D first. Does anyone know the whereabouts of Sam Pittman, or are we still? Wrong thing. I hit the wrong button. I
Does it stay in or doesn't it?
don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to. I put the wrong way. Okay, so or are we still?
Trying to put glasses on it.
Oh, so good. I don't know. I think we're trying to put glasses on it. I don't know where Sam Pittman is.
I don't know. He's probably neck deep in some old cold beer.
He's having a
Mhm.
cold beer. Having a cold beer. And then two. Is it too much to ask for the first half defense to hunger it down the first time? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we kind of talked about that earlier. We'll see. We'll see. TBD. Shout out to whichever one of y'all responded to the DM thread during the game. Helped my sanity. That was me. Yes, that was me. John Michael D had some. He was there was some extra little stitches stuff that we didn't even talk about on the podcast. That he
Uh-oh.
had him like super worried, and then he was like we were DMing him about it during the game. And it was fine. I told him it was fine. And it was. So,
That's
all
fine.
right. Let's go to Kevin. And this is this is where that came into play. So, Kevin says, "It's time for Jeopardy. Your category is to the nines, and it's a daily double." All right, I said I was going to get the sound, and I did. So,
Yes.
this team once beat Ole Miss 9 times, hello UT and AU, in a row, making Rebels fans start to think Hotty Toddy was just Bulldog for not again. Bonus points if you know the years. I did not look this up. I don't know this. Hunter, do you
I
know
didn't.
this?
I'm guessing it's Mississippi State.
Was there a 9 in a row streak for Mississippi State? Now I gotta go to Wikipedia and look this up.
LSU? No. It'd have to be. It's gotta be LSU. I can't imagine that it's Mississippi State.
Making Rebels fans start to think Hotty Toddy was just Bulldog for not again. I don't know. That's the
Yeah,
reason. That's the reason I say, is it Mississippi State?
man, there was a Mississippi State had a run in the 19 aughts from like 1915 to 1925. So yeah,
Back when they
Mississippi
actually
State.
had towels on the sideline.
uh, Too
I
good.
lie.
Okay.
They just recently got rid of those. So
Okay. So we didn't get the years without having to look it up, but JP got it. Congratulations, John. You got your double Jeopardy right. So yeah, I had a whole like long Jeopardy thing that I accidentally hit the button for earlier. So got a couple of the Jeopardy sounds in the soundboard. We'll see if they get used at a later date. All right, we'll move on to Boss Dog. TJ Witten on Twitter. He says, I'm personally of the belief that the second half of the Auburn game woke this defense up. I think it's the start of a more dominant offense. With that being said, what are your keys to the game with Ole Miss, or better yet, keys to a fast start on both sides of the ball? And I know Kirby is like, there's no magic thing. Um, my joke was like, can we do the halftime adjustments before the game? But I don't know. I know on Bulldog Brunch, I think they were talking about that like these are, especially like on defense, like these are young guys, and that it's like they're they're thinking too much in the first half. So it's like instead of just doing, they're thinking and then doing, and so it's like slowing them down that like slight beat or whatever, and then it's like they're getting down, they're getting behind, and then it's like, all right, well, no time to think anymore. So I don't know. That's where I kind of feel like the whole like tight versus loose thing, just like cut it loose from the beginning.
Yeah, cut your ass loose.
Exactly.
my my thing is, and I know we talk about it a lot, probably put too much into it, but there's something to be said about the first drive being scripted out. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's what you plan on doing. You've got the whole drive ready to go, and it should be the best drive for the other team because that's what they're planning on doing. It's not till after you get knocked in the mouth and start to make adjustments that you start to see, things change and settle down. Um, so I don't know
Yeah.
what the answer is. I'm with you though. Uh, I hope your belief is right. I hope it's more dominant defense going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that getting off the field on third and longs is going to be a key for the defense. Um, just getting them to third down would be a start too, especially if we're going to have the um, there's that, but then on the offensive side, I'd like to say that you know, I feel like that we have a repertoire of some plays that seem like that they work pretty well. Um, let's find some packages that we know that work. Like pretty much seems like it's a first down guaranteed every time we throw it to Zach Branch on third down. Um, I would say that incorporating some folks that have shown a propensity to catch the ball when we need them to is also a good start for the offense. But just getting the drive going, get some early success. Yeah, I mean, it starts up front on both these lines, right? Like
Yeah.
you got to get penetration, you got to prevent penetration on the offensive side. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think the
know.
key for Georgia's offense is with the way we run it and the things that they do well, they have to stay on schedule. They can't get behind the sticks. Like if you're looking at third and long, it's not a high success rate
Yeah.
because that's not the type of offense that we're trying to run. But if we start looking at, second and short, third and short, I feel like that's where, you know, he starts stacking plays and kind of getting into a groove with the play calling and the players and we just got to stay manageable on second, third down. I think that's the key.
Okay. Yeah. With you there. Let's see. Let's go to Fletcher Proctor. Fletcher says, "Does Kirby embrace the dark side and troll the rest of the nation this week? Do we embrace our ultimate villain status?" I mean, he is like, I know at least the Auburn fans were like, uh, wanted Kirby suspended or whatever for the timeout thing. But he added, "P.S. If everyone thinks we get all the calls, can we actually get all the calls and heal our way to the title this year?" That's always what I say. Like, I'm always like, I'll take it. Like, I'm not one to say like, oh, Georgia never gets a call. Like, I want all the calls. Like, I'm so used to that happening against us, like throughout my life. Like, I'm always like, yeah, I'll take it. Like, if it's a bad call, I'll admit it and I'll take it. Like, that's fine with me. So I don't know. I
I don't know that he will embrace it. I don't think that's
yeah.
Kirby's thing, but I think it would be cool if he did.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
having evil Kirby Smart would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Let's see. Will Garland, I think we've got a couple of like actual schematic type questions. So Will Garland says, "What plays would you want to see Bobo run during those early scripted series to ensure that we come out guns ablazing and not playing our weekly game of catch up?" I mean, toss sweep, obviously, but what do you guys have?
Play action,
Mm,
deep pass.
Yeah, Jimmy, you and I have talked about like the actual play action pass, not like the zone read play action pass.
yeah.
Like let's line up an I formation or pistol and run an actual or not I formation, like
Yeah.
under center. Um
Dude, and
just
that's what we got
extra.
on that pass to Noah Thomas against Auburn. It worked.
Hmm.
It worked. And I think like like you were texted. You're like, see,
Yeah. And it worked early against Tennessee too. I mean, that
yeah,
first drive against Tennessee, the first play, I think it was the first play, it was a haymaker
yeah,
down the sideline.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, end around to Oscar Delp.
It's coming. It's coming.
Look for it. Look for it.
Let's see. JR Real at JR Real 16 or 10 on Twitter. For some reason, I feel like Georgia is gonna thump Kiffin and bring them back down to reality. We make them one dimensional. They won't be able to score. My question: do we see Kirby call timeout again? That was just epic. Auburn might hate us more than Bama now. Yeah, I don't see Kirby doing that again. I think maybe next time he'll actually just clap and not call timeout, but say he was clapping. Just my guess. Let's see. Matt Key has a couple. First off, one, how many times will the broadcast bring up the fumble last week and the clap timeout issue? That's a
Who are
good
the
question.
broadcasters again? We got the
It's
good crew, right? They're not
yeah, it's like Fowler,
maybe
Street.
one time and then they'll move on. I don't think
Yeah.
if we had McElroy or somebody like that, it'd be bad and there'd be a lot of them.
Somebody that's looking to troll.
Yeah.
True.
I
Fair.
think a better question is Pat McAfee going to bring it up to him on game day?
Oh
Ooh.
yes.
Okay,
Oh
that is a
yes.
good question. Oh my god.
You know, he's waiting for that. He's living for that moment right
He's
now.
gonna I'm just calling it now. Like when Kirby comes on stage, he's gonna be like, all right, we got Kirby Smart here, guys.
He's like clap for Kirby.
And he's gonna try to get Nick Saban involved, and he's like, Coach, did you ever do anything like that? Did you ever use it?
Yeah, yeah,
Good call.
Or he's
Good
gonna
call.
ask Nick Saban if he taught him that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
seriously.
Exactly.
Um,
Golly. As long as he keeps his dang shirt on, I don't care.
um, let's see. Two, did we gain any confidence from the second half, or are we back to the same story against the Ole Miss offense? I mean, I'd
Or
like to
show
think.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Show me. Hit him with it, Jim.
Oh, I gotta. And then third, execution or different play calling from the first to second half. That is a good question. Like what's the difference? Are we calling different
Execution.
plays or is it
It's
execution? Okay.
execution.
They're calling different plays because the execution ain't happening. Trust me, Bobo would run the same play over and over again if it worked.
True. True.
And to a certain extent, he has been running some of the same plays over and over again because they've been there. It's just that the execution hasn't been Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to all school. What's it going to take for us to come out of the box in the first half like we do in the second half? I guess we've already talked about that. I know the offensive line has injuries. I know the defense is young. Are we close to putting together a full game? I guess that's a little bit of a different spin on it. You guys think we're close to being able to do it for a full game, or
Show
Think,
me.
show me?
yeah, I was- we're close to doing it for a whole half, but not for a whole half on the other side.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and just recognize that this is who we are.
Yeah. So
The
maybe
body of work is only getting bigger.
right. So a strategery thing on that. Herman Wood asked, I know Kirby wants the middle eight, but is it time to take the damn ball first?
No,
Nope,
give me,
nope.
give me, give me the ball in the second half. I'm good with focusing on the middle eight because you saw exactly why in what happened with Hugh Freeze. Like we
Yeah,
were, we got our head bashed in for an entire half, and it all turned around when we were getting ready to get off the field. Inside of that middle eight is when we kind of figured something out. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good getting the ball back. I think that didn't was it
Is
uh
Josh.
Josh? Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh basically like said that when you take the ball in the second half, it can it tends to create an extra possession for the team that takes the ball in the half at halftime.
He was actually saying like the other way around.
Oh, he
So
was? Oh, I thought he
Josh's
was
argument,
saying,
yeah, Josh's argument was we should stop deferring and that we should take the opening kick. Um,
hmm,
yeah, that was his
maybe
point.
I misunderstood then,
Yeah, I will say though, like, I mean, we did that
which
against
is on
Austin.
brand.
We we did that against Austin P, and like we took the ball and I think we turned it over. So I'm always win the toss, defer. I agree with you guys.
I'm
Um,
I just go back to the NCAA football strategy. Like, give me the ball so I can score double up before halftime.
right, right. Let's see. Ryan Heinko says last year Austin Simmons came in for a drive after Dart was temporarily sidelined, and Simmons looked really good. This year, new name. This year, Trinidad and Tobago Chambliss has looked really good against teams not named. Puts glasses on it. Washington State. Is this a case where we Munson over the backup quarterback coming into the second half once our defense has woken up from first half Trinidad? I guess John, you kind of made that joke earlier. Um,
Yes.
Possibly. Although from what I've seen though, I mean, I don't know. I will Simmons looked good last year. I think both quarterbacks are capable. Seem similar. Like they seem to have similar skill sets. So that was the
mhm.
thing to me. Like the whole backup quarterback joke to me is more around like when the guy that comes in is very different than what you prepared for. Whereas so I don't think we have that as much of that problem with these two guys.
Yeah, the main difference between Simmons and Trinidad is Simmons is more of a gunslinger. Like he's going to come in
Hmm.
and he's not going to hesitate to rip some throws that maybe you'd be like, oh, I don't, maybe that's not where you should be going with it, or you can't fit that in there, man. Trinidad's not going to do that. He's going to do the opposite of that.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'll take the risky throws. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, let's go to friend of the show, Tim Riley. Addison is waiting until Florida week to jump in, so it's just me. So we've heard rumor that friend of the show, Tim Riley's daughter, Addison, who's a freshman at Georgia, is ready to start getting involved with the listener questions. So Addison, we're waiting. We're here when you're ready. We're here when you're ready.
You're here when you're ready. Exactly.
So Tim says, what aspect of the Ole Miss offense is most concerning, and how do we counter with our lackluster first half starts? I guess Hunter, what's the main thing? What should most concern Georgia fans about the Ole Miss offense?
Um, this is not an easy question because Georgia had what I would consider Georgia has a good defense,
Yeah.
and some of the things that Ole Miss is good at are some of the things that Georgia is known for doing well defensively. I think Lacey is a very good running back. He's a very athletic. Um, it he always kind of catches me off guard every time I turn him on and watch him run the ball for the first time because he looks like a wide receiver, Like
Mm.
he's got the build of what I would say like a wide receiver. He's a little more tall. He's a little more like kind of got the twitchy athleticism than what you would see from your typical like more compact running back.
Is he like a
Um,
James Cook type?
I would say so. Yeah, he reminds me a lot of James Cook with the way, but he's very physical, and you wouldn't expect it from him because of how he's built. But
Mm.
he's tall, and so he does not shy away from being physical. But he also has that very James Cook twitch kind of really make you miss type of type of feel, and that's what makes him dangerous because you don't know if that's what you're going to get or if he's going to just try to run you over and he's big, so he can. So he would be my number one concern if they can get him going. That leans right into what Trinidad is good at, and that's the option, the RPO. Like he plays within Lane's system very very well, and if Ole Miss can run the football effectively, that opens a lot of things up that get pretty scary pretty quick.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Let's uh let's go to this guy.
I didn't realize that.
We got the hug dog. But
My
JP, you didn't
bad.
realize something.
Oh, he was just talking about Lacey, and I was like, is it Kyron? Is it Kewin? Like apparently they're brothers. I didn't
Uh
He
realize that.
Kawan, I think that's how
Yeah,
you say it.
yeah, yeah. Kawan and Kyron Lacey. And then you got Gerald Lacey, who also plays in Missouri. It's like the Gathers brothers, Jim.
mm,
Like these
yeah,
these three brothers are playing big time college football at some big time schools.
right. Seriously.
Anyway, sorry, squirrel.
You're, you're good. You're good. All right. We got the hug dog. Uh Jason, looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. He says the Grove or UGA for tailgating. Hunter, what do you have the best perspective on this?
You do.
I feel like I have a very biased perspective. Um, there's something about nostalgia and, your alma mater and, the place that you became you, for a lack of a better way to say it. So
Yeah.
like the Grove always is going to be my number one. I'm sorry to everybody that I see at the tailgates in Athens, but like that's that was my place. That was mine and Megan's place. So we had our own tent when we were upperclassmen, and we did all the Grove things, and um, so the Grove is just our spot. We've got a brick in the Grove with our name on it. And the way that they tailgate there, it's not like anywhere else. And a lot of people, it's not everybody's forte. If
Yeah.
if your thing is being able to um, have hot food, grill like with your open flame, and have room to spread out and do activities, then it's not going to be your thing because the tents are touching each other, and you're
So you're
right.
saying that you can't have live music and roast a pig right there on campus?
No, no.
Uh, I
Um,
mean, can't relate, brother.
Yeah. uh, I will say I've only been to the Grove once. It was when I was in college, and I feel like I didn't have like the right tour guide or something. So someday, Hunter, we need to go with you and get like the full
Yeah, I get
experience.
the. I have to say I've never been to Ole Miss, so I can't really give much of a perspective here. But all I can say is that the moment that they stopped playing Dixie in the Grove is probably one of the worst travesties to tailgating at Ole Miss. Even me never being there.
But
Okay.
I will say this as somebody who's done both and pretty, as actively doing both every chance we can get. They are very similar in how they operate. And, the thing, tailgating is tailgating, I guess. I say that having been to, these are the two places that I've tailgated, other than the random road games when I was in college, like going to Baton Rouge or whatever. But that's not, what I got going to Baton Rouge as a college kid for the visiting team is not the standard practice of tailgating and
Right.
at LSU,
Right.
But as far as what happens under the tailgate tents, it's very similar. It's very the same. You got, you're good if you're with good people, and every fan base has the bad eggs and has the people who ruin it for everybody else. Ole Miss has those too. Um, so it's just the setting is different. Georgia's very spread out. It's very
It's
um,
very spread out.
very spread out. And like I said, Ole Miss is just, it's not. Ole Miss is very intimate. It's a very intimate tailgating experience. Um, it's easy to get lost because of the way the tents are set up. They make their own roads uh, between, different Manning Way or Willis Way throughout the Grove. Um, but the camaraderie and the, you know, being there with your family and your friends that are like family, and that's all the same that I see at Georgia too. And the bourbon's there too.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Um, okay, so he says if 3:30 is the chef's kiss start time, which it is to me. I know Hunter, not for you for this week. John, I think you like 4:15. Um,
4:15's
but what's the
chef's
what's
kiss.
the what's the perfect pregame itinerary? I mean, you got the pregame run. I'm gonna kind of good John. You got the pregame run on campus. You got
Yes.
you got the TEC from Carol's Country Cupboard.
Yes.
And then I mean, then you got lunch at Morris Hall.
Pulling straight up to a parking spot that is just
Plus,
wide open on North Campus and walking through North Campus
yeah,
and
true.
and rolling up onto the Motown tailgate and enjoying things there. On your pre-run through campus, you would have already stopped at some of the other tailgates that you that we also frequent. Um, and then yeah, and then all good tailgates end at Hug Dogs.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say my itinerary depends on where I'm coming from. Like if I'm coming, we have something very specific that we do every time, depending on where I'm coming from. If I'm coming from, uh, you know, the metro, we always stop at the same Chick-fil-A in Duluth. I don't know why that was the one we picked, but that's the one we always stop at. And we eat Chick-fil-A, and then we fight traffic and complain about it as we pass Gwinnett Place Mall and try to get onto the interstate. And then we get into Athens and park. And we always go to my father-in-law's tailgate that they've always had, and it's kind of far out on the east side of campus. So we start there and work our way back toward the stadium. So we'll go from there and hit up Andrew tent and hang out with him for a little while, and then because he's right there across from Myers, and then we'll head to Hug Dogs.
When you say a little while, I have a feeling that it's a little bit longer for us than you think that it is, Hunter, because we're always like, Hunter, where are you?
Yeah,
Hunter.
the
He's like,
the little while
I'm
turns
at
into
Andrews. Where are you
a long
guys?
while. Yeah,
Hunter, we're exactly where we're always.
yeah. And
So
then so it's pretty much the same once we get to campus. The only difference is uh, where, like I said, where I'm coming from. We still go to Chick-fil-A. If I'm coming from the lake, we'll stop at the Chick-fil-A in Madison and have our Chick-fil-A there. So it's always Chick-fil-A. It's either Duluth or Madison, and then get to Athens and hit up the same tailgates.
I like
gotta
it.
try Carol's.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to introduce you to the tenderloin egg and cheese. It's phenomenal. All right. what do you got if you were James Franklin, what would you do with your $55 million buyout? I mean, I
I feel
would
like this is like
retire. I'm retiring and I'm gonna have like a top of the line wakeboard boat, surf boat, and live on a lake somewhere and like, like somewhere where I can easily go to Athens, and then like get into like a mountain area somewhere too, something like that. So that's what I'm
this is the multi-house perspective.
doing.
I don't know. I feel like this is like Office Space where they ask the construction guy, "What'd you do with $1 million?" He's like, "I'll tell you what I do, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Two cheeks at the same time."
Right. Uh, the main guy's
Uh,
like, I do nothing. He's like, you don't need $1 million to do nothing. He's like, you can do nothing for nothing.
yeah, exactly. Uh, I would call up my buddy Hug Dog and figure out a way to make some generational wealth.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
First phone calls to that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You guys give like serious, act like real answers. Okay. I see how it is. Uh,
Jim's like, we're blowing it,
Hey,
baby.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't do some of that same
I'm
stuff,
not
but
saying that I
I'm
wouldn't.
clearing
Yeah.
it with
yeah,
him
yeah.
first.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Um,
Oh man.
so I
I
didn't do
definitely would
enough.
take
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I definitely would take like a couple of bucket list vacations that I've always wanted to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like going to Ireland and Scotland and England, London. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I have to do the Band of Brothers tour. So maybe
The
I won't
Band
do
of
that.
Brothers tour. Yeah. My
So,
dad was supposed to do one of those, but then happened.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Some of my buddies did it a few years ago. So it sounds like a good time. Okay. What's your favorite podcast you listen to each week that's not My God a Podcast? Jason says he's in love with SVP, SV Pod.
Okay. That's the Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, weekly podcasts that I listen to. We listen to the 20-minute-ish podcast with Josh.
Yes. Yes.
And then you've got Waiting Since Last Saturday, the OG Punt and Pass podcast with Jake Fromm and Drew Butler and Chapel Bell Curve, friends of the show. I mean, I have in season, those are the podcasts that I listen to. Admittedly, there are some podcasts that I used to listen to a lot more, but they've kind of gone on hiatus. Um, non-UGA, I would say my favorite podcast to listen to is Science Versus. And then you could probably file that under anything from Wondery. Um, I find that their podcasts are all very well done and very well made, but Science Versus in general is I find that they are very timely with their topics because like I'm trying to think like for example that they just talked about Tylenol and they just like ran through like all of the stuff on Tylenol and autism and all that kind of stuff and like they'll take those kinds of things for what's going on in the world. So they'll talk about supplements. Like I don't know, I found it very interesting. They just had a podcast episode on sugar, talking about its impacts. So I find that very interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
I am I'll admit I'm not as plugged in as I used to be, especially now that I've
Your
You got
commute's
a
not an
1-year-old.
hour.
my commute's not an hour anymore, so
Yeah,
I don't have 2 hours in the car to dedicate to
exactly,
my
exactly.
content. But yeah, the same ones that John mentioned as far as Georgia podcasts, and if we're going off of sports podcasts, I actually find myself listening to those a lot more. My favorite one is the Bible Show. It's really
Mm.
good. I feel like they do a really good job of like breaking down the word and really making it digestible and applicable. And they have what I would say I align with as far as beliefs and um, theology. So not to get uh, too into that, but that's probably my number one that I listen to.
That's what
Other than
Sam and Will, is that the
yeah,
one?
yeah, that's the
Okay.
one. They're really good.
I'm literally looking at it right now. I'm like, I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, and then also The other one that I frequent, a totally different topic, but I'm a nerd. So it's called the American History Hit, and it's like a podcast. Don Wildman is the guy who does it, um, but he picks like a historical topic to bring in an expert on, and it's all American history. And so, I can pick and choose which ones are topics that I'm interested in, like Teddy Roosevelt or colonial America, or, he'll even do things that are like real specific, like the Salem witch trials, or he did one on the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's one that got me hooked because it catered to my English teacher and history nerd. So he does a really good job with just talking about history and educating, and he brings in an expert in the field and to give you some fun facts that you might not have known about whatever the topic is. So I'll pick and choose ones out of that have topics that interest me, and those are pretty much the ones that I rotate between. I don't really veer off from that.
Okay, so you guys have mentioned like same Georgia podcast on my end. So outside of that, um, not like a weekly one, but just in case you haven't listened to it, In the Red Clay is a really good one. It's like a true crime podcast about stuff that happened like in Georgia, and like a lot there are things that happened like Athens-ish general area. It's like about the Dixie Mafia. So definitely recommend that one. That's a good one.
Mm.
And then another one that's I'm not sure that it's weekly, but it's more frequent. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Simon Sinek at all. You'll see him on like you've probably seen him like from like TED Talk type stuff. He's all over like LinkedIn, and you'll see him on Reels and stuff. He's not for everyone. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I enjoy his podcast. It's called A Bit of Optimism. It's usually like 30 or so minutes, one interview per episode. He interviews some pretty interesting people. I like his perspective on that kind of stuff. So that's a good one.
Yeah, it sounds like a Joe Rogan type situation.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll throw out some specific ones. I mentioned Wondery. Anything by Wondery has been really good, but I'll specifically cite Business Wars and Sports Wars. The Sports Wars is really good for it addresses like rivalries and things like that happened in sports. And then the Business Wars is similar, but it's taken in on business. So they did episodes on like Pepsi and Coke and Apple and Microsoft and you know those kinds of things. And they're very well done. They're almost like kind of like listening to a radio show from back in the day where they kind of dramatize different scenes and things like that and walk you through the history of companies, and it's very interesting.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, we got one more. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Oh my God! My God, a freshman.
Trying to put glasses on it.
1980, who, brother?
It is time for Coach Trill Bill's Over Unders Ole Miss edition. JP, or we're gonna do it this way. I know, Hunter, apologies, I didn't update the graphic to show your picks on the graphic as well. My bad.
Yeah.
But John, you have the lead, so you can decide whether you want to take the ball or do you want to defer. Do you want the middle eight or do you want to, start fast? We'll see. And then Hunter, will let you be like the tiebreaker on each one if that works.
Where
Um,
are they? Oh, there we go.
So first one is on the offense over under Georgia rushing yards 150. Do you want to take that one or do you want to defer?
Over under rushing yards 150. Hang on, I'm pulling up my notes. Where are my notes? All right, here we go. I've got my notes.
Okay, so right there where you were looking, I need another Jeopardy sound. I need the do.
Exactly. We probably need that more than just on these. Okay, so I'll go first. I'll do.
He's taking the
I'm
ball.
gonna, yeah, I'm gonna take the ball. I'm gonna go over 150.
Okay. Yeah, I got to go over as well. Hunter, are we crazy? What do you think?
I watched Washington State's quarterback break like 50-yard runs multiple times
Okay.
last week, so I don't think you're crazy at all.
Okay.
That sparks joy.
Okay. Would you take the over, Hunter?
I would.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so over to me. Players with a catch over under 5.5. I'm gonna go over. I still feel like we spread the ball around a lot.
Mm, I'm gonna go under.
Okay, Hunter, what are you thinking?
I I'm gonna say over.
Okay.
I
Um,
think I would like to maybe see it be right around
yeah.
that number, maybe not too much over it. Like
What I hear you saying, Hunter, is that it's push.
yeah, we need to get our playmakers the ball more often than we need to spread the ball out. I think you find your guys that are your guys and you get them the ball.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. If you're rushing over 150 yards, you might not need that many guys. Just saying.
Right.
All right, and then let's see. Then John over under 3.5 receptions for tight ends.
I'm gonna go over, Jim.
Hmm, man. Okay. I'm gonna go under. Hunter, what are you thinking?
Thinking under.
Okay. Okay. Um, all right, so let's see. That will take us over to the defensive questions. Um, so first up there, over under 300 Ole Miss passing yards. Man, I hope it's under. I'm gonna say under.
I've got over, Jim.
Okay. Okay.
Think
Hunt. Yeah.
under. I think Ole Miss's goal going into the game is going to be to run the football, and if they can, that's what they're going to do. If 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 there's a shootout, then yeah, it's going to be around that probably. But I would think that it's going to be under it, and I would think that intentionally they probably want to play under it also.
Okay. JP, over to you. Over under 45 quarterback rushing yards from Ole Miss.
I don't know. Now that Hunter's talking about quarterbacks breaking off 50-yard runs, I'm second guessing, but I'm gonna stick with my gut here, my notes. I'm gonna go under.
Okay. I'm gonna go under because in college sack yards come
I was
off.
about to say clarifying question.
Yeah, sack yards count as negative rushing yards. Hunter, what are you thinking? Hunter thinks it's a good line.
Yeah, push.
You could push
Push.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, push.
Um, and then over under first half points, 16 and a half. I think that's a good number, honestly. I'm gonna say under. We'll see.
I'm gonna go with over, Jim.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go under.
Under. Okay. Special teams over under 1.5 Peyton Woodring field goals.
Attempts.
Oh, sorry, 1.5 field goal attempts. Correct.
That's an important characteristic there, Jim.
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, I did not read the full over under.
I'm going under.
Okay. I actually agree with you. I'm gonna say under.
Okay.
Okay. And then last but not least, game day people who pick Georgia over under 3.5. Um, Georgia is favored. Um, oh wait, who's going here?
I'll just
Uh,
go. I'll go. I'll just take it. I'm gonna
okay,
take I'm gonna take the over.
you are. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna make a coach count how many people, so I'll say under.
This could have really been a separation Saturday,
It
Jim.
could have been. Could be. It could be.
It may still be.
What do you think, Hunter? What do you think the
I
the
think it's gonna
game
be
day crew is
over.
gonna do?
Over.
Over.
Desmond's the one that's gonna pick Ole Miss. He's the only one.
Okay. I like it. Specific.
Desmond does do the yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like Desmond has no confidence in Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Coach Trill, as always, thanks for doing this for us. Love it. Appreciate it. Hope to see you on Saturday. All right, guys.
Yes.
Time for the predictions for the game. So I checked earlier this evening. So unless anything's changed, earlier this evening, Georgia on Odd Shark favored by 7.5 points with an over under of 54.5. That gives an implied score of Georgia 31, Ole Miss 23.5. The Odd Shark predicted score has Ole Miss winning 40.7 to 39.8. So they've got a shootout. Parker Fleming in the CFB graphs has a Georgia win 30.86 to 21.21. And then our scoring impact thing that we do has like a 1 point win. Georgia 27 to Ole Miss 26.
Mm,
Hunter, as the guest, do you want to lead us off?
Sure.
What's your vibe here?
I think, and we talked about it in our text thread. I think was that this morning that I woke
Yeah.
up with the unexplainable vibe.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying that if this game goes into a shootout, I would like Georgia's chances at home. Um, but it would not surprise me to see Ole Miss win a shootout type of game, just because that's, you know, uh, Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss is more of an offensive football team than a defensive football team. I think that's maybe the best way that I can put it. Um, so I think he's comfortable if he has to do that in doing that. I don't know how comfortable he is doing it on the road, um, which is why I would say I would lean Georgia, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Ole Miss win it in that situation. But the vibe that I was talking about that I woke up this morning with is I just feel like this game is going to be like one of those 2015 era, like you would see Mississippi State go and play Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and Mississippi State's undefeated. Dak Prescott, everybody wants to pick them. Everybody wants to talk about how they're the upstart offense and what's wrong with Alabama. They lost to Ole Miss or they lost to whoever it is, and on a weekly basis, they don't look great, but they find a way to win. And uh, people are wanting to pile on them. I feel like Georgia's in that position now, and that's going to be this kind of game where you see like an ugly Georgia win that the final score is like 20-6. Uh, but
Wait,
early in the
what?
early early in the fourth quarter, you look at the scoreboard and it's a close score, but you think back to watching the game and you say this game has never been close. Like Georgia has dominated this game the entire time, but it's
Mhm.
just kind of been ugly. It's kind of been a 6 or 7 point, 10 point lead, and then all of a sudden they just, they end it. But it's a really ugly win. Um,
Okay.
Not high firepower or anything like that. They just kind of shut them down. Uh, Kirby sits on them, kind of breaks their will type of a game.
Mm.
So what's your score prediction, Jim? Hunter?
21, Georgia 21, Ole Miss 6.
Wow. Wow. I
I
mean, I feel like
love
that's like, yeah, that's
I
delicious.
love I love that I love your score a lot better than mine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
me
know why I
too.
feel that way. I feel like that's the type of game we're gonna get.
I mean, I'll take it.
I'll
Just
take
going
it
into
too.
the fourth quarter, it's like 10-6, and but
Calling
you're not
calling for
worried.
Georgia to cover at home is a bold strategy, Cotton.
I was this morning, I was thinking kind of like a Georgia, the one I was harkening back to was like the 2002 game, where we pulled away, away late. It was what I was thinking in my head. And then I looked back at like the actual score. That was 31-17. So I don't think I'm quite feeling that. Um, and then I don't know, then John, you were also kind of like, our MO is the tight games of late too as well. So I'm kind of leaning into like what our score predictor says ish. So I've got the dogs in a tight one, 27-24.
Bruh. I had 28-24
Amazing.
on mine. Uh Mostly because yeah, I think it's gonna be a tight game. That said, if one of these teams scores 30, first 30 wins.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. You said it earlier too, like protect the ball. It's it's just it's so huge. Protect the it feels like another protect the ball win the game kind of
Protect the ball, win the game. Yep.
situations.
100%. 100%.
Cool. All right. We got coaches pick'ems. You guys want to hit those quick?
Let's do it.
All right. Some games around the SEC from Coach Trill. Sorry, I'm trying to find my pick'em thing. So first off, we've got Oklahoma. Where did my picks go? Give me a second. I don't know what happened to the picks.
I forgot to mention Joe Cox is the co-offensive coordinator for those of you that did not know that.
Oh, that's good. You had mentioned him the other day.
Yeah.
Now I know why that had popped up.
Yes. Joe Cox, former quarterback, is the offensive coordinator for Ole Miss. I believe that based on what others were saying is that he does not call the plays,
No,
but
Charlie Weiss Jr. is the offensive coordinator, the play caller.
yeah, Joe Cox is like a co-offensive coordinator slash assistant head coach or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we got okay. So number 14 is favored by Oklahoma. Sorry, is favored by 5.5 points at South Carolina. I'm gonna take a bounce back game for Oklahoma.
Who you got, Hunter?
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like Texas beats them twice. Their quarterback's injured. I don't know that he should have played that game last week.
Mm.
Um, they're on the road. South Carolina is one of those teams that sneak up and have a good game at home randomly. 12:45 kickoff. Just feels like a weird South Carolina win.
Hmm. I've got Oklahoma, Jim and
Okay,
Hunt.
okay. Um, let's see. Number 10 LSU travels to number 17 Vanderbilt. 12 p.m. kick on ABC. Vanderbilt is favored by 2.5 points over LSU. Um,
Wild.
absolutely wild.
I've just woken up from 2007 and I've fallen on the floor dead.
Yeah. Uh, I can't believe that. Man, I'm sticking with Pavia. Go Vandy. I'm taking the doors.
Yeah, give me the fighting trust funds.
Go to hell, LSU.
Nice. Um, then we got number 4, Texas A&M travels to Arkansas, 3:30 kick on ESPN. I mean, I feel that I'm all A&M on there for me.
A&M.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be fun if what's his name? Petrino
Petrino.
went and beat him?
Yeah, that would be wild.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, I've got A&M in that one as well, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, the cult leaders.
Yeah. Mississippi State goes to the Swamp to play the Gators. 4:15 SEC Network. The Gators are favored by 9.5 for Mississippi State. I don't know,
Can they
Mississippi
both
State.
lose?
Yeah, seriously.
What's that?
He said, "Can they
It's like,
both
can they
lose?"
both lose?
Can they both lose? Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. Hunter's taking the asteroid.
I mean, there people are talking that like I saw something tonight, like reports of like Napier is not, they're ready to pull the trigger, basically.
Yeah, if he
To get
loses
rid
to
of it.
Mississippi State at home, he's getting fired on Sunday morning.
Right, right. I'm gonna pick Florida so that hangs around for the Georgia game.
Yeah. Yeah, give me Florida.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, Hunter,
Florida.
you can't pick Mississippi State, so obviously.
No, never, ever.
Obviously.
Um, and then the third game of the triple header on ABC. So you got LSU Vandy at noon, the Dogs Ole Miss at 3:30, and then number 11 Tennessee at number 6 Alabama 7:30. Bama's favored by 7.5. Um, I mean, I guess I don't know. Having played both, I gotta take Bama.
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama. look for my boy Bray to make some kind of play again this week.
Yeah,
Um,
kill us with the Ocean Springs kid, but it's okay.
I
It's
know, and
okay.
he's killing me. I mean, good for
Yeah.
him, but
Yeah.
I feel like every week he's popping up on the highlight reel with an interception or a forced fumble or something. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's at Alabama, and I don't know if Tennessee can get it done as much as I might like to see it happen. I think Alabama's just they've kind of found it here lately.
Yeah.
Give me the cyanide pill after hearing that. Yeah, Bama.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta pick Bama at home on that one. Um, but man, how did we lose to those guys? Mm,
We got to move on. We've got to move on. It's in the past.
yeah,
All right.
I want to have that one back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we all do. We all do. I know the team does too. The team does too.
We may get our shot.
Yeah. 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 Rematches are going to be more normal these days.
I tell you the tiebreaker situation is going to be like insane on this one. I feel like this season is going to be even more drunk than last season on the tiebreakers.
Yeah, I hope the guy that runs
Yes.
that site has it primed and ready to not crash like it did last year.
Oh man. So what's Jim? What's your situation for the weekend? What's your plan?
So we're heading down. We're gonna head down Friday. So no coming in hot in the day of the game, like
Ooh.
like Kentucky. So we're heading down Friday night. But I mean, we'll still get there late. But at least we won't.
Uh,
You we've got school on Friday and everything. So heading down after school on Friday. So we'll get there. We'll get there super late Friday night. But we'll at least be able to wake up in the morning and be in Nicholson, instead of driving down from Charlotte Saturday morning. So
mhm.
yeah,
Excellent. Well, see you there, bud.
see you there. And
Honda's
don't.
famous bed and breakfast.
That's right. Don't worry, John Michael D. We will not do a group pregame run.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be a little weird, but we'll figure it
Uh,
out.
too good. Well, Hunter, I hate that we'll miss you this weekend. But enjoy from Ocean Springs with the True Man and the fam. We'll be you can live vicariously through us.
Yeah,
We'll keep you
yeah.
posted.
So that was our plan is I'm gonna wake up and take Truett downtown and go to Tato Nut and do
Yes.
our downtown walk and get our exercise in because of the tater nut that we just ate. And then take him to the library, do our usual Saturday thing, and then I'm going to I'll see y'all on the other side. I'm gonna unplug and staying off of the socials, and I'll see y'all on Sunday.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Cool.
All right, well, it's good to have Hunt the Jones back with us. It was great to see. It was great to see True Man. So, again, yeah, I echo Jim's sentiment that we're going to be bummed to not see the Jones clan in Athens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make it
But
happen one week. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
Just couldn't be this one.
All good.
all good. All right, guys. Well, we got the Fighting Hunters, and we're going to take them down. Go dogs.
Go
Go
dogs.
dogs.